Hello folks, I'm Doc Sanders and I want to share with you something that's relatively unique. You've heard about robotic welders assembling cars at Honda and different places like that, and as a matter of fact, they've replaced many of the workers on the assembly line with the welding jobs. Well, here today we've got something different, and that is a robotic milking system that milks cows. And guess what? Cows love it. And we're here at the Gruenbaum farm, and as you've seen, we've had a cow that's come in to be milked. She's being served a tasty meal up front, and while she's eating, here we are with this robot that first prepped her teats by cleaning them off, sanitizing them, massaging her udder so she lets her milk down. As you know, the cows don't readily give it to you if you don't encourage them with some gentle, loving, tender loving and care. And so we've done that sort of thing, and then the robot finds the feed in and inserts the milker. And if you notice, there's laser technology involved with this. It attaches the milker, and by the way, it checks her temperature. It also checks the milk to make sure there isn't any infections, and if she either has a fever or infection, why, the milk is diverted from the bulk milk tank where the milk goes to the processor. And so consequently, everything is checked out ahead of time. Now the interesting thing about these cows loving it, you see, they like to be milked. And traditionally, many of you grew up on a farm that you knew that cows got milked twice a day, and maybe today cows get milked 3 times a day. But these cows volunteer to be milked up to 6 times a day. Now, it happens that they're being bribed a little bit with what they get to eat, but they love being milked. And so consequently, they're volunteering, stepping up, ready to be milked at any time. This is all computer driven. The computer knows how often they've been milked, and if she volunteers more than 6 times a day, the computer won't let her in to be milked again. Secondly, if they detect something wrong with her temperature or how much milk she gave or things like that, the computer gives a printout to the operator, one of the Gruenbaums, who checks out what's going on with the cow and the various aspects like that. It also measures how many pounds of milk she gave, and then they're able to know, is this cow producing at her potential, or is she down a little bit, or whatever. Now here we are with 2 robotic milkers in this system, and this system cost a little over $1 million, and it replaces 2 people that milk this herd, because the thing is, normally you'd have people milking these cows, and they'd be milking them twice a day, and here they are, they're getting milked much more frequently according to what the cow desires, and it's all with tender love and care as they go about this. Now, there's 120 cows in this herd, and I must confess, the robot is working full time. I mean, there's no rest break, there's no coffee break, we don't worry about bathroom breaks or anything like that, because this robot is a tireless milker. And so this system operates around the clock, and one of the Gruenbaums comes in and checks on it 2 or 3 times a day, or there's even an alarm system. And David Gruenbaum talks about sometime when something malfunctions, and it literally calls him on the phone in the middle of the night to report that he needs to come down and fix the problem. Because these cows, they're happy to be milked all the time. So the thing of it is, this is a pretty neat system. There's only 1 of them in Ohio. They're getting more popular, particularly in the Netherlands. And in the Netherlands, employees to milk cows is quite expensive. And so it's cheaper to invest $1 million in a robot than it is to try to hire the number of workers it takes to do this. These are also becoming more popular across the country, with roughly a couple hundred of them already in position. Now, I want to switch gears here and talk to you about another topic while you watch this cow being milked. And when she's done, her teeth will be sanitized before she leaves, and she'll get a gentle bump in the butt that she's got to leave, you know, for the next cow, because there's another cow standing outside wanting in. But I want to tell you, we're talking about the Netherlands. You know that there's a pharmaceutical company named Pharming, P-H-A-R-M-I-N-G, that is applied for a permit to milk rabbits. That's right, folks, rabbits. And here's why. And that is, there is a genetic defect in people called C1 inhibitory protein. When that is missing, humans can get an infection with that missing, and the inflammatory process can be fatal. And that modulates inflammation so that it doesn't get so serious. And they've figured out which shred of DNA, which little strand is missing that they need to replace of DNA to fix that. And in working this out, they initially used blood transfusion donors to extract that protein from blood. And as you know, there's a number of diseases like AIDS and things like that of concern in people. And they figured out how to make transgenic rabbits. That means they have injected that gene into rabbits, and rabbits produce it in their milk. So farming has applied for put in a rabbit dairy. That's right, folks, a rabbit dairy. 1,000 rabbits they want to milk, and they're going to put in a milking parlor for them. Now, as I reflect on that, I can see a number of advantages, because let me tell you something, 1,000 rabbits take up a heck of a lot less room than 1,000 cows. I work for a number of these large dairies, and they end up having double 48 herringbone milking parlors that just goes on like a football field with what all they've got in there. Well, 1,000 rabbits probably could be fed in this little room we're here right now. And the second thing is that dairy cows sometimes have issues with fertility, and you can't get them pregnant readily sometimes. Have you ever seen a rabbit that wasn't fertile? Of course. You know, that is a really interesting thing, that fertility won't be an issue. And then I was thinking, you know, in cows, they have these large lagoons to contain the feces and the slurry from the cows before they fertilize the fields. Well, think about it. The rabbit feces is already pre-processed. It's already pelletized. You just put it in the bag, and shoot, you could sell it to people bagged to put in their fertilizer spreader and put on their lawn. Already processed, all the work is done. And then, you know, if you think about it, I have rabbit problems with rabbits in my garden. They get in the lettuce and one thing and another. I'm thinking about putting in a robotic milking system out there by the lettuce, so that the rabbits have got to go through the robotic milking parlor and get milk before they get my lettuce. Can you think of what an advantage that would be? Well, folks, I'm Doc Sanders. For more information about this topic and others, check us out on the web.